so much for coming.
Yes, we truly appreciate it.
Of course, we are truly delighted to be here and I can't wait to know about this topic. Come join Nabila.
Then shall we start today's podcast?
Yes.
Today's topic, we will be discussing about students being unmotivated to further their studies.
Excellent. So, our first topic will be about financial issues. Does any of you know why students don't further their studies because of this issue?
Oh yeah, that's a tough one.
It's sad to think that financial constraints can limit someone's education opportunities.
Yeah, that's true. It's so unfair for students that have to face this struggle.
Absolutely. There's a theory called the cost-benefit analysis theory. It suggests that students weigh the potential benefits of obtaining a higher education against the financial cost involved.
Yes, I've heard of that. For example, they consider factors like tuition fees, living expenses, and potential student loan debt.
That makes sense. It's like trying to calculate if the investment is worth it in the long run. Do you have any real-life case studies that illustrate these issues?
Definitely. One case study found that students from low-income backgrounds are more likely to be discouraged from pursuing higher education due to financial concerns.
That's unfortunate. It seems like financial issues can really limit opportunities for some students.
Absolutely. Education should be accessible to everyone, regardless of their financial situation.
It's disheartening to see talented individuals held back because they can't afford it.
It's a challenging situation. Education is so important, but the cost can be a major roadblock for so many students. How unfair.
I completely agree. Education is the key to unlocking so many opportunities, and it's a shame when financial barriers prevent students from achieving their dreams.
Yeah, it's a tough reality, but you know what? Calm down, guys. Continue to what I was saying, whether it's through scholarships, mentorship programs, or even just spreading awareness, we can make a difference.
OMG, yes, that's so true.
Absolutely. Supporting initiatives that provide financial aid and scholarships can open doors for students who might otherwise give up on their dreams.
Alright, let's not forget about lack of information and guidance for students too.
Right. I remember struggling to find resources and guidance during my high school years.
It's like we were expected to figure it out on our own.
Yeah, and that lack of guidance can really demotivate students.
When you don't know what path to take or what options are available, it's easy to lose interest in what you're studying. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
And let's not forget the overwhelming pressure that comes with not knowing. It can make students feel lost and anxious, which kill their motivation.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Totally would ruin the mood.
A solution for this could be implementing mentorship programs in schools, where experienced professional guide students and provide them with the information they need.
I love that idea. Having someone who has been through it all to offer advice and support could make a difference.
Also, what about incorporating career counseling earlier on? It can help students explore different paths and understand their options too, right?
Absolutely.
Another factor that has been identified is students with mental health problems. It can be challenging for them to focus on their studies and stay motivated.
Now that you have mentioned it, mental health is just as important as physical health, and we need to prioritize it in our education system. Sadly, not everyone is aware of that. What do you think, ALISHA?
I couldn't agree more.
Then what are your insights on this topic?
I think schools must have a comprehensive approach to mental health.
That's right. Najwa, your thoughts?
I think mental health should be integrated into the curriculum by teaching students about emotional well-being, coping strategies, and also stress management.
That's a fantastic point, Najwa. I've heard some say that education should go beyond academics and equip students with the tools they need for overall well-being.
Ding ding ding, 5 points for you.
Now, to our last point, which is lack of intrinsic motivation.
Students nowadays tend to do anything based on their moods or the level of motivation they have at the moment.
Yeah, it's like some students just don't feel motivated to continue their studies.
Yeah, I've heard about this theory called the self-determination theory. It suggests that when students don't feel like they have control over their education, lack confidence in their abilities, or don't feel connected to their peers and their teachers, their motivation can suffer.
Oh, absolutely. That theory hits the nail on the head. When students feel like they have no control over their education, they don't feel confident in their abilities.
Exactly. It's such a shame because education is so important for personal growth and future opportunities. Does anyone know how of any real life example or case study that highlight the issue?
Totally. One example is when students are constantly pressured by external factors like race or parental expectations, rather than being encouraged to pursue their own interests and passions. This can lead to a lack of intrinsic motivation and a disinterest in furthering their education.
This also means how much they would give just to complete a certain task.
True. They would have a desire to give up and stop thinking about furthering their studies. From your perspective, what do you have to say about this?
Yes, but before I answer your question, I would like to add that we can't just ask someone to do what we want her or him to do. Everyone should be considerate.
Forcing the person would just complicate the thing, right? I mean, no one likes being forced to do something.
Right. Exactly. So this person needs to do something that is their passion or interest.
Yeah, I agree. Then from there, motivation will eventually build itself. Then deeper the person's interest in the certain field, the better motivation they will have.
So, after this brief discussion, what do you think is important for students to figure out their interests just so they can further their education?
Yes, because after all, everything we do needs us to have an interest in it. For example, teachers need an interest in teaching or sharing knowledge.
Yay, I get what you're saying. Like chef, they need an interest in cooking. After all, our passion for doing something plays a big role in making sure we succeed.
That's a good example, ALISHA, NAJWA. Then I think we all can agree that before anything, students have to confirm what they are interested about first.
Absolutely. By figuring out what our passion is, intrinsic motivation will slowly come by itself, like when students have a mindset such as if they study their chosen field.
Alright, before we close our discussion for today, does anyone have any more to say?
Oh, me.
Go on!
Thank you. I think to summarize everything we discussed earlier, it is obvious that a lack of intrinsic motivation can cause students to feel unmotivated to pursue further studies.
Oh, your surrounding could change to negative in the blink of an eye. Imagine if you had to study in a field that you didn't like at all for more than a year. Even worse until graduate. Ugh.
That's why it's crucial to develop intrinsic motivation as well as your true interest, no?
Of course, I need to have a private talk with anyone who thinks it's not important.
Then, Shahira, I think this is where we end our podcast. We hope as you reach the end of this video, you've learned something, especially for those who are struggling with finding their motivation in themselves.
Once you discover your actual interest, mark our words, further studies will be much more enjoyable than you think.
That's all for today's podcast. We will see you again in the next episode with a different topic.
Thank you for watching. Goodbye!
Bye!